What's up, guys? So I'm gonna make a short little video, right? No, but really, last night on We Are Awake TV's stream, I was chatting in the chat with everybody, and I was getting so many memories of like crazy stuff that's happened to me, and it started to make me think, and all these memories were coming back. Um, Oh my God, so many crazy things have happened in my life. It's like not even possible. So the one that stood out to me was this time, and I was probably like 20 years old, if not maybe 20, maybe I had just turned 21. I'm not really sure, but I was 20 or 21. And I have to start for like a little bit back with this whole story. Um, the end of this story is like a case of mistaken identity where I was accused of kidnapping somebody and taking them to Florida from New Jersey, right? So we're going to rewind a little bit. One night I was coming home from work, and I was a hairstylist at that time also. I've been a hairstylist since, I actually started working in a salon when I was 16. So by 20, I was a stylist, and I had my clients and everything, which is a whole different thing. I could do so many streams on crazy shit that has happened relating to my salon. So anyway, I was on my way home. It was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock maybe. We got out pretty late from the salon, and I get a phone call. Now, mind you, back when I was 20, this must have been, let me do the math here, probably 2006, right? So we had cell phones, but they were not what we have today. I think I had just gotten like a smartphone. Well, it wasn't even a smartphone, right? It was like the Dare, which is like one of the first touch screens. That's where we're at. So I was on my way home, and I was driving with my friend, and I got a phone call. So I pick up the phone, and this guy is like, hey, Mary, are you with Steve? Now, my best friend's name is Steve, okay? So I was like, no, I'm not with Steve. I just got out of work. Who is this? And they're like, we know you're with Steve. And I said, and I look at my friend next to me, a girl who I worked with, and I was like, I'm not with Steve. I just got out of work. Like, I'm on my way home from work. I haven't even talked to Steve like today. And they were like, we fucking know you're with Steve. And I was like, oh my God, this is like weird and creepy. And I was like, who is this? And they were like, you know who this is. And I was like, I have no idea who you are, but no, I'm not with Steve. So I hung up, and I kind of didn't think like too much of it. I was like, that was weird, but I really, because my best friend's name is Steve, I didn't think a whole lot of it, right? And they might have called back later and maybe like prank called me or something, but I didn't really think too much of it. So I talked to my friend Steve like the next day or something, and I was like, is one of your friends calling me? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? So anyway, I forgot about that whole situation. Oh, you know what? I'm trying to think. No, you know what? On the phone, the guy was like, he named my high school. And he's like, you went to this high school, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, and you're friends with Steve? Your best friends with Steve? And I was like, yes. And I didn't know if I asked his name. I really don't remember that part. It was a very brief conversation on the phone, like super brief. Again, I was trying to get home from work, and it was just like a weird thing that happened. So fast forward maybe like 2 weeks, and I wake up in the morning one day to get ready for work. So it was probably like 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I listened to my voicemail. I had a voicemail. And oh my God, I will never forget this. I wish there was some way for me to have saved this. But back then, like, I actually think I even saved it for like maybe a year, because this was the most fucked up thing that has happened to me. Like, this was the craziest shit. So there was this voicemail, and I almost remember it verbatim. So, but this is like super close if it's not exact. The voicemail was like, good morning. This is Detective Ambrosino from the North Brunswick Police Department. We're looking for Mary. Mary, you got to come forward. You're in big trouble. This is what was it? A felony, larceny. You're facing big charges. We know what's going on. And all these really scary shit. Like, you got to come forward. We're going to find you. We know where you work. We know where you live. So you need to just fess up, and you need to come forward and tell us what's going on. And that was the voicemail, essentially, right? Very scary, very crazy. And at first, I don't know. At first I was like, this is probably like a prank. Like, this is crazy. This is not real. This is not real life. And then, of course, I'm like, well, shit, what did I do? Did I do something? Because, I was 20. I was kind of wild, admittedly. Well, very wild. I was not a criminal, but I partied a lot. I hung out with bad people sometimes, but I was not a criminal. I didn't even shoplift. But I was like, well, shit, what did I do? Did I get fucked up one night? And like, I don't remember, because again, I did party a lot, so it's not out of the realm, right? But it's like, man, did I do something? Like, I can't remember. Then I was like, now this is probably a prank. So that morning I had to go to work. So my friend, the same friend that I drove me home that night with the weird phone call, she picked me up for work. And I was like, listen to this voicemail. I said, I don't know what to do. We ran to get coffee, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is fake. And she listened to it. She's like, holy shit. We played it like a million times in the car. And she's like, you know what? Call the number back. Call the number back that left the voicemail. So I call, and sure enough, it is the police department. It is the police department that called me. And I was like, I might have even hung up after I called, and then was like, oh my God, freaking the fuck out, because this is the craziest shit in the whole world. So I did call, and I spoke with the, oh my God, this is giving me like anxiety even thinking about it. I spoke with whoever, some lady, probably maybe the dispatcher, I don't know, secretary, somebody. So, and meanwhile, we're on the way to my job. Like, I'm going to work, because I don't know, I'm on my way to work. So the lady is like, where are you right now? And I said, I'm driving in the car. I'm on my way to work. And she goes, no, you're not. You need to come to the police station right now. And then I hear her talking with somebody, or maybe on a different line, or maybe like through a radio, she's talking to somebody off to the side, like, all right, where are you now? What road are you on? Like, doing all this stuff. So I said to my friend, I said, I don't think I can go to work. I think we got to go to the police station, and the lady said, listen, we know where you work. So if you go there, you're going to have a team of police officers meet you. And so if you want to save yourself the embarrassment of getting hauled out of your job in front of everybody, then you need to come down here right now. So I got off the phone with this lady, and I'm like having a heart attack. Having a fucking heart attack. I text my boyfriend, who is now my husband. I texted him, and I was like, babe, legit, I might be going to jail. I don't know what's going on right now. I was in tears. I was completely a mess, freaking out on my life. And I'm like, this is what it is. I'm going to the North Brunswick police station. I'll call you when I'm done or whatever. So I go down there, and this detective, they had to call him in because he wasn't in yet. But I guess when they said, oh, this Mary is coming down, he came, and I was sitting there, and I had to wait for him in this room. And he's talking to me, and he's like, so what's going on with Steve? And I was like, what are you talking about? I said, my best friend's name is Steve. That's the only Steve I know. And he's like, no, I want to talk about the Steve that you took. Apparently this Steve also was underage. Okay, the one that they're talking about. Maybe 17, I don't really know. He didn't tell me his age. But he's like, you took a minor across state lines. Do you know that that's kidnapping? And they thought I stole a car. So that was larceny, or like whatever larceny is. I don't even remember. I looked it up, but I don't remember at the moment right now. All this stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about? I said, I have never even been to Florida. And he's like, okay, so tell me what's going on. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know nothing about this at all. I have no idea. I don't go to Florida. I am not. And he's telling me my high school. He's telling me where I live, the town I live in. Okay. He's telling me the high school I went to. He's telling me all of this stuff. My phone number. That's how they had my phone number, obviously. He's telling me all of this stuff. And I'm like, this shit is like completely out of control. Like, I don't even know what's going on right now, And of course I'm scared, because then you think like people do get arrested for like wacky shit sometimes that they did not do. I guess, clearly I wasn't kidnapping people or like doing any of this stuff. So he's leaving me in and out of the room. He had me alone. My friend was with me, but she had to wait like out somewhere, in the main lobby area. And meanwhile, he had me in this room alone. I'm like scared as hell, like 20 years old, like don't know what's going on here. I'm being like, legitimately case of mistaken identity. Like, I did not do this. I did not do anything that you're saying I'm doing. So finally, this went on for hours. I was there for hours, okay? Scared out of my mind. Scared out of my fucking mind. And, like, you start to think, like, you're going to go to jail for something you don't even know what it is, and you're going to jail for it. So eventually, I guess he had taken my ID at some point. And after I was there for, like, hours, he comes back. And he's like, okay, well, I've been running your background, this and that. And I see, so crazy. Now, mind you, my sister had stolen my social security number at one point because she was a criminal, So she had got stopped one day, or she got arrested for shoplifting in a Kmart, okay? And so she used my social security number. And so fucked up. I'm so mad about that. So she used my social security number, and because I was a minor when she did this, they let her go. And they said, okay, you just have to appear for a court thing. So on my personal record, it said that I got arrested for shoplifting and that I did not go to court. Okay. So now when this detective comes back and he's asking me different stuff at a point, he's like, but why did you lie to me about the shoplifting? Because they ask you, have you ever been arrested? This and that. And I, of course, would say no, because I've never been arrested. In my life. I have never been arrested in my life. And so he says, well, why would you lie about that? And I'm like, well, that was my sister. They can, so that's a whole side note. But anyway, after all of this goes on, he says, okay, well, you know what? After running your stuff, and aside from that shoplifting stuff that was not even me, he's like, we have the wrong person. This is not you. This is not you. It was like, okay, a sigh of relief, all this. But then now I'm like mad, because the whole time I knew it wasn't me. And the whole time I was getting accosted by this man alone in a fucking room while my friend is out there probably crying and freaking out and smoking like 3 packs of cigarettes. You know what I mean? All this stuff to finally tell me, no, it was not you. Sorry, we're sorry about that. He actually didn't even apologize. So then, after all this, I go out. I'm leaving. I'm leaving out, the front. And I said to the receptionist, I said, well, can I have some sort of note for my job? Because I just told my job earlier that I have to go to the police station because the police are looking for me. And she calls the detective up to see if he wants to give me some sort of record. And he goes, what? You need a note for the teacher? Are you joking me? Are you out of your fucking mind, Mr. Ambrosino? I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you how, like, horrible that was. And that is the craziest, well, not the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, but definitely, like, one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. Kidnapping, larceny, you know, taking taking a minor across state lines, all this. All to say, do you need a note for your teacher? You gotta be kidding me. So after that, me and my friend did not go to work. We smoked blunts all day long and cried and laughed and cried and laughed. And yeah, that's one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. So I don't know if that was some sort of, like, I don't know if that was some sort of attack, you know? Or is it a crazy ass coincidence that would never happen to anybody except for me? I don't know, you know? The jury is still out on that because that's not normal. Like, that type of shit doesn't just happen to people, I don't think. Why would anybody target me? I don't know. I don't really know about that because I don't feel, even after that, I don't feel victimized. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I can't really describe it. Now, had that been today, and you know what? I thought about it even then. Had this happened today, there would have been I would have been videotaping this fucking detective. I would have been, you know, he would have been all over the news, right? I would have made a whole thing about how he, you know, harassed a 20-year-old girl, accusing of all this type of stuff. Like, right now, nowadays, this would not end like it did, where he just, you know, makes fun of me, asks me if I needed a note for my teacher, and, you know, meanwhile, like, you know, I don't want to make this video ultra long, but they said they were going to come into my job and take me away while I was doing hair. They said they were going to come with cops to my job and arrest me while I was in there doing hair. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine that shit? Oh my God, that was so crazy. I'm probably going to make a video series about crazy shit that's happened to me while I've been at, you know, working at the hair salon and like all these weird things like that. Yeah, insane. All right, guys. Well, that was my story. I will probably upload some more videos about this because I do have like other really crazy fucking stories about weirdos and like, I was saying in the chat too, I almost got abducted when I was at my salon one day, by some man in a white van. Yeah, so crazy. So crazy. All right, guys. Peace out. I love you guys. And I don't know. Hopefully I'll see you all on Ian's panel later on. Maybe I'll pop on if it's early enough, you know. At nighttime, you know, I'm a little, you know, a little more relaxed. I'm not so clear with my speech and my everything, you know. Anyway, peace out, guys. Love you.